In today's video, we're going to set up this 120 gallon tank for a ball python. For this, I'm using a Zoo enclosure. It's super lightweight and super strong. And after telling Zoo where we're going to make these videos, I managed to get you 15% off. So if you want these tanks to do this exact setup, follow the link down below, type in R and R as your discount code, and you'll get 15% off. Now, the very first thing that we want to do is make up our basking spots. And to do that, I'm going to use some rocks. I'm using Welsh mountain slates, but you can use any sort of rock that you find outside. Just clean it off, or you go to some sort of garden centre, same thing. But my whole plan is to make a cave in this back right corner. So one at the back, and then one at the front. And this last piece I'm putting across the top to make a lid. Make sure that it's not going to roll or fall and crush your ball python. If you didn't know, ball pythons live in burrows and holes in the wild. So by making this cave, or this mock burrow right here, not only is it going to be the perfect place to sit on and bask in the light on top, or go underneath and have a perfect little burrow. The next thing to do is use substrate. I'm using Reptichip. Of course, this brand is different, but to you in the States, probably is going to be Reptichip. You can find it on Amazon, link down below, for around $25 or $30, I think, but it expands into a lot of substrate. What you want to do is start filling it up. This stuff is actually really great at holding on to humidity for our ball python, and that's so important. Honestly, the more you use, the deeper the substrate, the better the humidity you're going to get. Many people struggle with screen top enclosures and humidity just zapping straight out. But the trick is, the secret is, if you give them a really deep substrate, the stuff that's moist underneath gets trapped and stays moist beneath as the top layer dries out. So rather than everything drying out quickly and going whoosh up the top, it's a slow release of humidity by making a deeper substrate and the bottom layer taking longer to dry out. The good thing about this stuff is it doesn't mold, it can go bone dry, or it can be sodden wet, it doesn't matter. I could have this totally moist or this bone dry within the same substrate. I really like it. Right, the next thing to do is put in some hide. I'm using cork bark right here. But the benefit to cork bark is that it's mold and rot resistance. So wood from outside can go moldy, it can rot, and it will eventually break down. This stuff lasts for ages without going moldy. What I'm trying to do here is almost go for like a log pile like they would have outside. What this does is give them the option of dark and warm, or light and warm, or up and down. There's choices in this log pile, which is going to be really good for our ball python. The next thing to do is add some branches. Now, I attacked a tree outside. This is from outside. You can do this. Ball pythons are known for climbing out in the wild. So what I'm going to try and do here is make some spots where the ball python can climb up and make use of the climbing space. What you got to do is just say on guard to an oak tree and you're on your way. I'm going to bring these across like this too, to try and lock this in place. I'm using this branch locked in from this corner onwards to try and stop this one from falling forward. So you can also use them to lock each other into place. What I'm trying to do is make it look like it's all one like root network. So it looks like it's all one system. Now this is going to make climbing a lot easier for a ball python and give them access to areas and space they probably wouldn't have had. The next thing I'm going to do is add some plants. This is a spider plant. I'm going to keep it in its pot because I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to trash the plant, but for £4, I can keep replacing it and it doesn't matter. And what you can do is you can creatively tuck this in places. Like here, I'm seeing a good spot. Like here, I could put this over there. So it looks like it's growing out of the background. And then ta-da, it just looks like a plant amongst the roots and rocks of the wild. This one is some household ivy. I'm going to use this in this corner to do the same. Plonk the plant down behind and then let this look like it's growing up into the setup. I'm probably blocking you off here, but I'm going to pull that up there, and then you can pull around the ivy and make it look like it's growing around a mature system that's been lying there for years. There we go, look at that. This right here is a jade plant, it's a succulent, it can take heat more than the other plants, so I'm going to put this one nearer the basking spots and bring this spot to life. There we go. This is really coming together now. So we've put together our environment. The next thing we need to do is supply the heating and lighting. So what you want to do is get a heat lamp, put it in one of your domes. You can get the heat lamps down below on Amazon real cheap. You can also get the Flukas domes really cheap. I think they're like $14, link down below. But place your basking lamp on one side, switch it on, and direct it over your basking spot. In our case, our basking spot are the rocks. Then what you want is something called a temperature gun. It's a little point and shoot gun that tells you the surface temperature of objects. So what we want to do is come to our basking lamp, point and shoot, and measure the temperature of your basking spot. Mine's low right now because I've literally just turned the light on, but you want to be somewhere between 35 and around 40 degrees Celsius. And I think that's around 95 to 105 in Fahrenheit. Now, if you notice that your basking spot is just getting way too hot, what you can do is take out that heat lamp from that dome, say it's 100 watt, go to a 75 watt, and put that in there and see if it changes. That might be the perfect Goldilocks zone. If it's too low and it's not getting hot enough and you notice it needs to go up in wattage. You change your bulbs out to get the perfect zone at your basking spot. Once you've done that, the next thing is to measure the air temperature and the humidity in your setup. And to do that, you want something like this. You can get these linked down below. The ones in the Amazon linked. The ones linked in the Amazon are Govee, but it measures your humidity and your temperature. And what I would do is plonk it somewhere like here, away from the basking spot, so it measures your air temperature, not how hot things are getting in the basking spot. So during the daytime, this setup can be around 72, 73 during the day at the lowest temperature if you wanted to. It could even go up to sort of like 90s, 95 probably at the max. And then at nighttime, you turn your lamps off and it can go down to like 68 at nighttime. Now we can get spray bottles and spray our enclosure to keep the humidity up, or you can get something like a jug, fill it with water, and then pour water into the substrate, because humidity is just water that evaporates and joins the air, and it adds to the overall water content of the air. So all you need to do to control humidity is add water. That's literally all it is. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a UVB light to my basking spot. This is going to be great for the health of our ball python and make our basking spot much more like sunlight. Turn that on. Speaking of brightness, the next thing we want to add is an LED spotlight for plant growth. What I have here is a Sansi LED spot. This is perfect for making our basking spot really bright for our ball python, but also allowing our plants to grow really well. So screw that into your dome. Then what we're going to do is add it to the spot next to our heat lamp to add to our sunshine. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look how much brighter this makes this setup. Not only is this going to help with your plant's growth and encourage them to grow towards the basking spot and make it look like it's all going in one direction so it looks natural, but it really helps to make it that little bit brighter like it is outside for our ball python to help them warm up, just like outside. You can find everything we've used in this setup clearly labelled down below to help you what to buy and where to get it from. If you like these types of videos, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.